Welcome to the online program of Amrita Civil Service Academy. My name is Sibi Joy, and as part of our Mains Master 2020 program, in this video, we are discussing about test number 7 of Indian society. So without any delay, we'll go inside the question. Do regional aspirations complement the national interests or are they contradictory to it? Analyze the statement in the Indian scenario. So the question is, do regional aspirations complement the national interests or are they contradictory to it? Analyze the statement in Indian scenario. So we must understand that the first major theme that we see in the question is regional aspirations or regionalism. So in our introduction, in the first part, we must define what is regionalism and we must link it with the second part, which is whether they complement the national interest or whether they don't, just make a link between how it complements national interest or how it contradicts it. Just a link to it in the after the definition. If you can make a link to the second part, your introduction is set. What else? From that, we'll begin to the body. While beginning in the body, we must be talking about how it is complemented the national interest or whether it has contradicted the national interest. We can quote examples, we can bring in case studies, we can say all of that, and we can make an analysis between them, saying like, yes, this has brought in a conflict, this has brought in some, this has actually strengthened the movement. We can say that all separately and in detail. Once that is said, we can go for the way forward, how you can, how regionalism has actually strengthened the concept of diversity and unity in India. With that, we can go for the conclusion. We can end it on a positive note with case studies. So understand the demand of the question. Let me again reiterate the demand of the question. It is regionalism and we need to make an analysis on whether it is contradictory to the nation's interests or whether it is complementary to the nation's interest. Do regional aspirations complement the national interests or are they contradictory to it? So we need to analyze it in the Indian scenario. So while analyzing it in the Indian scenario, always take up examples and case studies from India and put them up. That will make sure that you add a rich flavor to your answer and make sure that your answer looks very consolidated and very composed. So we are going for the detailed explanation of it. In the introduction, we are talking about regionalism. We will be defining regionalism. So you can again go for a working definition. So regionalism is a strong attachment to one's own region. And in India, there are many folds of regionalism. You can say it like, you can talk about an example where a Tamilian identify himself as a Tamilian, where a Bengali, where a person from Bengal identify himself as a Bengali. These are all examples of it. And you can say this is also a kind of attachment to certain issues which are relevant to that own state or that region. For example, the Sri Lankan Tamil issue in Tamil Nadu, the Teesta river water issue in West Bengal, all of this are aspects of regionalism. So it is there in the answer key. You can refer your textbooks, you can refer your online sources, find your own working class definition of regionalism. But our introduction does not end over there. You need to link it to the second part where you need to say whether it complements or contradicts the national interest. So you can say regionalism is both a boon and bane to the national interest, is both it complements it in certain cases, but also contradicts the national interest in certain cases. You can just give an example. You can give the example of the Khalistan movement for contradicting it. You can give an example of cooperative federalism for complementing the national interest. So again, make a note of it, give an example, and your introduction is really perfect. That should be the idea. You give the definition, you make another connection with the second part of the question, your introduction is set. Now we are going inside the body. So while going inside the body, again, don't just jump inside how it is complementary to the national interest, how it is a contradictory to the national interest. Before going to it, just talk about what is regionalism and give any examples if you can. So just give what are the regional aspirations in India. You can give examples of the regional aspirations in India. Let me just write it down. You can talk about the J&K issue. You can talk about the Bodoland issue, which is more separatist in nature, or you can talk about other things which demand more autonomy. The Bodoland is more, J&K is more separatist. Bodoland talks about more autonomy from the state. They demand their demand for a separate statehood. Some talk about political autonomy. There should be a change in the way the power is shared between the center and the states. So we can talk about different regional aspirations that have come up in the states themselves. Then also the other cases you can talk about the famous river water disputes, the Satluj Yamuna problem, Satluj Yamuna link canal, or the Kaveri dispute, or the Mandavi river dispute. So even river water disputes are also common, and they are also an angle of regional aspirations. All of them have political connections, social connections, and even economic connections. So we can link all of this together to say that there are certain regional aspirations in the country. While talking about that, we also need to mention, again, we need to mention why is this happening. Let's not take more than 2 or 3 lines. Just say regionalism has been expressed with the J&K issue, the Bodoland issue, the Kaveri river water dispute, the Satluj Yamuna link canal, the division of Chandigarh, the shared capital of Chandigarh between Punjab and Haryana. You can say all of that as examples, but you also need to say why has regionalism come up. So again, these are all just small parts which you need to just put in to jump inside the before going to the main question. So this gives a proper flow to the answer. From the introduction, you talk about why that is regionalism, what are the examples, and why this regionalism has occurred, and then you go into saying whether it's complementary or contradictory. That is how you're supposed to go for the question. So while going for it, you can talk about the development angle, where many states believe that they are not developed as the other regions, or maybe the representation angle. They believe they are not getting adequate representation because in their states, in their political assemblies, or in the legislative assembly, or even in the parliament. So we can talk about that angle also. Apart from this, there is also the failure of certain government at the national level, or the demand for, because the policies are not favoring a certain state. You can also say that is also a reason for increasing regional aspirations, or coalition politics, where a regional party is in contact, is in alliance with the major party at the national level, and they demand certain things in concessions too for their for their continued support. So you can say these are the major reasons for regionalism in our country. So we talked about, we given a small just before jumping into the answer, we've talked about why examples of regionalism and why regionalism is happening. You can use a diagrammatic representation to save space and bring about a change in the monotony of writing continuously. You can do all that. Feel free to write it. Once that is done, we come to address the main part of the question, which is, so this is the major part we need to say in this question: how this is complementary and how this is contradictory. You write this part alone, you write this detail, you'll get standard marks. If you can include all of these, you'll get the maximum marks that is possible. So you have to say why regionalism is complementary. You have to give the points and you need to analyze it. So you just can't say the point and just leave it as such. You need to say how this has contributed to the national interest, how this has not contributed to the national interest. You have to explain each and every one of them. For example, on a positive side, we can say that it has brought about more autonomy. It has given more recognition to the regional aspirations, have given more recognition to the people who are living in different areas of the country. They feel that their identity is strong, and they are a part of the Indian Union. One strength you can say is the identity. The other thing is imbalanced regional development has now been addressed. Since many states are not as developed as other certain states, their voices have now becoming clearer, because they all have consolidated themselves under the banner of regionalism, and they are asking for more development. So that has also made sure that they whatever they are asking for, it is towards the development of that region, and this is always going to help the country. Another thing, regional aspirations help in developing their own culture, protecting their culture, preserving their culture. So this has actually a huge fallout in the language, in the growth of a language, in growth of literature, in growth of tourism. One major example you can take is the various languages in part of South India, like Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, and Odisha. All of this, and Odia, which has achieved classical language status, and all of these languages are now being protected and being nurtured. So one angle of their growth is because of the regional aspirations among these states, which promote their own culture and language. So that is also something you can take for it. Another thing, because of this regional aspiration, the core Indian thought of Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam and the unity and diversity concept achieves prominence because of the regional aspirations. We understand the ability to work together with different people, the tolerance we show, not the tolerance, but more than tolerance, the acceptance we show of different cultures has actually strengthened the Indian Union. That is a point you can bring in. Then, because of this regional aspirations, there is a sense of cooperative federalism and competitive federalism, where states are vying with each other to get more FDI, to improve their economy, to boost revenue, and this will actually lead towards better economic growth and strengthening of the nation. So that is also a complementary point you can say. So you can bring the points of economy, you can bring the points of culture, you can bring the point of social change, where people to people contact happens, and you understand there is the identity and the different traditions and religions that occur in because of regional aspirations. All of this can be identified. So we talked about the economy, we talked about society, we can talk about even culture. There is also, apart from this, unity in diversity, cooperative competitive federalism. So many points we can say how it has actually strengthened it. You can talk about take each and every point where regionalism or diversity has helped us. You can put that in. You can talk in this angle. Generally, I use this formula. I think on the political angle, I think on the economic angle, I think on the social angle, or also the scientific angle, think on the technological angle, think on the environmental angle, and I think on the legal angle. So you can think on all these angles, see how they help. You will be able to find complementary, where regionalism has actually helped the political angle, the economic angle, the social angle, the technological angle, the environmental angle, and the legal angle. Think on all this, definitely your marks will come. That is there for the complementary. Again, on the contradictory part, again think on these angles. How regional aspirations have affected the political statement. One thing you can look at is how the Sri Lankan issue, because of the role of the the political parties in Tamil Nadu, India was not able to resolve the Sri Lankan conflict in the early times. So that is, you can say, in your as part of your political angle. You can take the river water dispute of Teesta between Indo-Bangladesh, where relations have worsened because of the Teesta river water issue, because the state of West Bengal has some issues with the river water sharing with the country of Bangladesh. So that you can say bring it in the political angle. So examples, bring your example. The Teesta issue. In the economic angle, cooperative federalism has actually resulted in kind of competitive federalism, and has gone beyond competition towards rivalry, with states which are already well developed attracting more and more investment, while states which are struggling to grow up, they are not getting enough investment. So this has actually led to a cutthroat competition, and that has also affected the economic angle. So you can bring in certain examples of states like Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Tamil Nadu, which are gathering more investment, while states like Jharkhand, Bihar, and Chhattisgarh are struggling to get investment, but they are the ones who actually need more development. So that is also a point you can bring in the economic angle. Difference between states. The social angle, you can talk about how the demand for secessionist statehood has actually evolved in certain cases into demand for autonomy, secessionism, insurgency operations. You can say that has actually affected the social fabric. There is a lack of connect with the rest of the Indian community. This is especially prevalent in the northeastern area, where many face alienation from the from the other states of India. So this is also a problem. You can talk about the northeastern crisis, that you can say as part of the social issue which has been created because of the diversity. Then technological, you can again link it with the economic angle. Many states do not have the basic infrastructure or technology, whereas many states do already have it. Developed states like Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, and Gujarat have well-founded technological infrastructure which they can use it. An example would be how during the coronavirus pandemic, many schools and colleges in many developed states are providing online classes, but this is not possible in other states where it is not possible for the because the states themselves do not have the requisite infrastructure to build these kinds of networks. So the technological angle is also something you can bring about important, and you can link it with the economic angle, environmental angle. So much for regionalism, you don't have too much involvement in the environmental angle. You can just leave it. In the legal angle, again, you can say that regional aspirations have demanded for more sharing of powers. They've asked for more subjects to be transferred from the state union list to the state list. So you can talk about the as you can talk about the separate flag requirement. J&K had a separate flag, and Karnataka asked for a separate flag. They talked about more the demand for more autonomy. So you can talk about all of this as part of your legal component of the contradictory portions. So complementary, contradictory, you can just use this formula, the Pestel formula, to identify points on both sides. Once that is done, your point is set. Your answer becomes clear. Always don't forget to mention your examples. They are very, very important. They make sure that the examiner gets an idea that the aspirant is very clear on what he's talking about. So you need to mention how regional aspirations has been a strength, and how it has been complementary to the national interest, and how it has been contradictory. Our answer does not end over that. You need to make a link and provide measures or way forward on how you can improve this scenario, how you can channelize regionalism in a positive way, how you can reduce the contradictory features of regionalism. You can talk about more people-to-people contact. Again, you can talk about any case studies or models where that has fostered interaction between the people, and this has actually led to growth. So you can take the example of cosmopolitan cities like Mumbai and Bangalore or Chennai or Hyderabad or Delhi, where there has been, because of the large mixing of populations from different parts of the country, the growth and competition has actually increased, and this has led to more wealth and more opportunities for people. But this has not been translated in other areas. So you can say that there is a need for more transport and logistics, and that is one way we can bring about connectivity between different people. So you can say that is a solution for the Northeast, the problems of resolving Northeast India, and with the resolution with the other states and the other populations. That is one solution you can say. You can talk about how you can find common points of interest between different religions, different regions on the topic of religion or on the topic of language. This can be brought about to bring in a better solution. Talk about all these measures. They make sure it is positive and helps towards national integration. This should be the idea while talking about the way forward. Once this is done, you can go for your conclusion. Always ensure that your conclusion is positive. You can bring in some case studies, or you can bring in some goals, or any examples where the regionalism has actually strengthened India, and it has led to India's presence, how it has led to the growth of India. And you can end by saying that regionalism is a core concept of our unity and diversity in concept, and what we need is not to abolish regionalism, but rather we need to make sure that its negative points are removed, and we should focus upon the strengthening of the Indian governance system by taking the concept of unity and diversity. That is a good way to end the answer. But generally, in conclusion, always look at it like identifying it, giving any positive points to make sure that your conclusion looks worthy. So I'll again reiterate the explanation. Introduction, talk about regionalism, give a working definition, link it how it is it is contradictory and how it is complementary, give an example if possible. Go inside the body, talk about the different examples of regionalism, why regionalism has brought up, then talk why it is complementary, why it is contradictory. Give detailed points, use this formula if needed. You can also find your own formulas, find different points, mention them, mention both sides of the equation, analyze it, and say when you're writing some point, mention how it has been a problem, how it has not been a problem. Mention it, add it to the answer, and once that is done, on your measures or way forward, just give some positive points how this has helped India and what are the ways you can actually use this to improve the national integration in our country. Once that is done, in the conclusion, conclude with some case studies if possible. Always end it on a positive note. So that is all for this explanation. This is CB Joy signing off. Everybody have a nice day. Thank you.